Well, after having a heart attack that nearly takes you out, you get a sense of vulnerability afterwards. And I'm Richard Friedman.
And I'm Nancy.
Well, we're from Bellingham, Washington. Nancy's originally from Georgia, I'm originally from Connecticut, but we met out there in Bellingham in 1983. Got married the next year and started having kids the year after that.
37 years ago.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
Whoa.
Yeah. We've done a lot of boating over the years, both recreational and then professionally. We spent the last 25 years with a charter cruise business up in Alaska, taking small groups of people on week-long trips on a motor yacht around Southeast Alaska. I was the captain, Nancy was the chef. Nancy's compulsive about cooking. It's not just what she did for a living, but it's what she does to show her love for people. So.
My love language.
In 1983, on a warm summer day, late in the afternoon, and I was in the insurance business back then, and I was driving down the street, and all of a sudden, here comes this stunning woman on a bicycle around the corner. And I nearly ran into a phone pole. But yeah, the first time I ever saw Nancy, she was on a bike. So we lived and worked together. And
Right, it's seasonal work. So when, we're working our season, it's 16-hour days, 7 days a week.
5 months out of the year.
Yeah, 4.5, 5 months out of the year.
So pretty busy.
Intense,
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
So not a lot of time for recreation. And you smoked a pipe,
Yeah.
had for many, many years, and we're not that active, right? So active on the boat in the sense of the jobs that need to be done.
But not a lot of cardio.
But in the off season, not much.
Yeah.
And so
In August of 17, we had a group of people on board our boat. We were anchored up at night in the fog and the rain, 80 miles to the nearest town, and I had a heart attack. And just for amazing good fortune, one of our guests that week was a woman who had trained at the Mayo Clinic as a cardiologist. So only time in my life I've had a defibrillator and a cardiologist at my elbow, and that's when I chose to go into cardiac arrest. But statistically, only 6% of people that experience cardiac arrest outside the hospital survive.
once Richard a boat came in to pick him up. It was a very long process to get him out of the cove. And actually, once he was on the boat, I was able to just let down and cry for a couple of minutes. And okay.
Was airlifted up to Anchorage. They put a couple stents in one of my coronary arteries, and they kept saying, you're going to have to find some kind of exercise that you can keep up with after this is done. At least 3 days a week, 45 minutes a day, per session of good cardio. Well, last year, basically, these bikes, surprising to me, but I guess not to experienced e-bikers, they've taken over as my primary transportation. So last year I drove my car about 4,500 miles, and between the two bikes I racked up 7,200 miles. I rode 320 out of 365 days. I've got a Homage dual battery roll-off E14 with the fiber belt drive, and then today I'm riding a 2018 Delight Mountain that I've modified a little bit more for road riding. I narrowed it down to a company I trust, which is Bosch. I drive a German car. I have driven lots of German cars, and they all have Bosch electrical systems. I've got Bosch power tools, so it's a company that I knew I could rely on. Learned about Reese and Mueller. I drive a Mercedes. I tend to gravitate toward the very best, and that's what I did with my e-bikes, and here I am. I like to lead an integrated life, a life where my enthusiasms and occupation and activities all coincide. And so I guess I bring that kind of enthusiasm and interest in other people, and interest in sharing and learning sharing ideas, learning, and comparing notes on something that I'm passionate about is just, to me, that's fun. It's what life is about. Another element of community that I've discovered is, first and foremost, San Diego fly rides. Okay. I mean, that's where I got my first e-bike. I've gotten 3 e-bikes now from San Diego fly rides in 2 years. We've got a nice little quiver at home now. We've got 4 e-bikes. My brother and sister-in-law came to visit last month, and all 4 of us got to go riding from our house. So we didn't have to go out and rent a bike, which was great. Yeah, the crew from San Diego Fly Rides, I've become very involved with Court's Electric Bike Review Forum. Share what I've learned with people about accessories and repairs and what type of bikes I think are good for what circumstances, and end up encountering like-minded people on those forums, and we end up exchanging emails and phone calls. And in one case, a fellow down in San Diego and I really hit it off, and last winter went down there to visit him.
We didn't share a lot of hobbies. We really had our separate hobbies. Our family, raising our family together was a huge piece of our what we did together, our relationship. But this is something probably for the first time really that we can do together, both really enjoy being active at the same time. That's my thing. I love that. It's like I would much rather see the world from a bike than being more of a passive participant. And, well, I have a husband that likes to exercise, number one.
Never thought that would happen.
Never thought that would happen. He's full of surprises. So that's been a tremendous gift because I've always been more active than Richard. And
all our lives, you've been the fit one.
Right, and now I'm trying to keep up with this guy. It's exciting to watch. It's not really an escape from life. It's like this. It's an invitation.
It's an embrace of life.
Right, and the bike sits there, and it's like this invitation to go out and explore, and have a sense of well-being that certainly you haven't experienced in a long time.
No.
And it's renewing mine as well.
And I came out of it alive, but feeling kind of fragile. Not sure what the future would be. Was I going to be a cardiac cripple or what? And riding an e-bike has allowed me to attain a level of vitality and fitness that I never expected would be possible, even if I hadn't had a heart attack. So the gift of health and vitality is so precious. And the community of people that I've gotten to know through it is just as precious to me. So it's just been all good, literally all good.
All good, yeah. And it's given me him, right? A healthier you.